Well, hello. Welcome to Isaac Flores Software's Fire Protection Engineering program. I designed the software to better evaluate and manage risk. I'm an independent fire protection consultant for several insurance carriers, and I visit many facilities, some of which include Mega Warehouses. This particular demonstration evaluates adequacy protection in a Mega Warehouse containing Class 4 commodities stored to 50 feet high on double row racks. I will demonstrate how quickly and easily and accurately you could evaluate adequacy protection. I searched the internet for software that allow me to do that. I found none, and I decided to design my own. I'm going to go fairly quickly to evaluate adequacy protection so you can see how long it takes. It takes about a minute. And then I'm going to go back and demonstrate the program in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to click Start. And when I do that, this window's open. It shows three tabs: class 1, class 1 to 3, and class 1 to 4 commodity. I'm looking for class 4 commodity, and there are three areas I could enter data. And the data that I enter is based upon the in-ranks. I have two levels of in-rank sprinklers and two levels of face sprinklers, and the levels are 20 feet apart. So we're looking at this area in rack vertical distance 20 feet apart. My ceiling sprinklers are ordinary temperature rated sprinklers, so I could go here, store height at 25 feet with ordinary ceiling sprinkler temperature. And if I had higher temperature 286, I select that. But I'm basically selecting this button. And when I do that, the program pulls data from NFPA standard and places it on these empty cells. It gave me the density that I need, 0.35 over 2,000 square feet, ordinary ceiling temperature sprinklers. It is for single and double row racks, class 1 to class 4 commodity. It gave me the host demand and calculated an estimated demand flow at the ceiling. I'm gonna, if you need information on what class 4 commodities are, you could click that. And that gives information, and you could click information on plastic storage. So we're gonna, let's proceed fairly quickly. I'm gonna click next. Information is already populated. And now we need to enter water supply. I'm gonna enter the water supply given to me at the site, or that I pulled from sprinkler diagrams and hydraulic calculation. And I click supply and demand button. When I open that, this window open, and now I enter the water supply that was given to me from city water pressure and a 1250 GPM booster pump. So the static pressure is 170, I enter 170. Residual pressure is 92. This is assuming the fire pump operating 150% capacity. The discharge is 1875 GPM. And then I enter in-rack sprinkler demand, and that was given to me at the facility, or that I got from sprinkler plants. The ceiling sprinkler demand is 1025 at 99.5. And the in-rack sprinkler demand already balanced at the ceiling sprinkler pressure, and the demand is 479 at 99.5. We could enter host demand, but a host demand is already given, so leave this blank. We can make some changes if we want to, but I'm accepting 500 gallons per minute. We click OK. And when we did that, the computer enter the water supply. You enter your rack sprinkler demand. You enter your ceiling sprinkler demand. Density needed is 0.35, and it calculated your total demand, ceiling and in-rack sprinklers. The lines look a little bit funny, but this is because the program calculates friction loss also to basal riser So I'm going to click this button, calculate friction loss against demand, and the line straighten out. I could also enter calculate friction loss against supply. You could see this change back and forward. I had no pressure drop. Since I entered no pressure drop, and in my particular example, the friction loss, the demand for the sprinklers was calculated to the fire pump. So there's no friction loss to calculate, but if we need to calculate friction loss, we click this button, calculate friction loss, and I'm going to do it to demonstrate and enter some data. When we do that, this window's open, allow it to enter pipe, it's a friction loss calculator, and we're going to pipe information and fitting data information. We select the pipe, it's a new pipe. The facility was constructed in 2013. And we could select a pipe diameter from 6 to 8 inches. We're going to select 8 inches, pipe schedule with duct iron. And then we select fittings by clicking this drop-down windows and selecting the fittings available. We basically select a 90-degree screw elbow, standard T, gate valve, and we could select a check valve. And then we select the quantity of each fitting. We could select one or up to 5. We have one of each. We click OK, and a new other window opens up that we go into the pipe diameter. Let's set 500 feet of pipe. And the friction loss is generated based upon the sprinkler demand 1029 GPM. If we base it upon the water supply, we click this button and our friction loss increases. And the friction loss line is automatically subtracted from the water supply to give you a pressure drop line. And this is your hose demand subtracted from the pressure drop line. And now it gives you the density available with hose, density needed, density available, and the density available without hose. We had no friction loss to calculate, so I'm going to go back and zero the information that I calculated. Out and put a 0 on the pipe length, and this shows the actual calculations to the fire pump, and that's how quickly you could calculate adequacy protection. Our protection is adequate. It meets in-rack sprinklers, but individually it meets ceiling sprinkler demand. But for the total demand falls above your hose line, but below the water supply line. And when a sprinkler demand does that, it falls in between the hose demand and the water supply, is classified as nearly adequate. So for combined hose, ceiling sprinklers, in-rack sprinklers, this system is nearly adequate. But it's acceptable though. No need to make additional recommendations. And that's it. That's how quickly you could calculate adequacy protection. It is an ideal tool for fire protection engineer that need to visit, evaluate adequacy protection in warehouses. And it has similar other programs to evaluate flammable liquid, plastics, all kinds of occupancies and commodities found in NFPA 13. So I'm basically pulling information for NFPA 13, NFPA 30, and other standards, and use it to populate the fields, and then I enter water supply, sprinkler demand, friction loss, and I could quickly generate this graph. This is a linear graph. I also have a lag 185 graph, and people prefer lag 185 since they're more accurate than lag 185. So I'm going to go to my lag 185 graph, and here it is. Excel, I designed the program using Excel 2003. And I chose that because if you have a more modern version, then it should work on a more modern version. But if you go back to 2000, it might not work on 2000 or the version. But from 2003 to present, you should be able to use this program using whatever Excel software you have. The program does not generate a lag 185. I created a table, and I put this information on the side to give me lines. If I want to get a water supply line, I click water supply, and one drops down. So all I got to do is move it around to my static pressure, and then to my residual pressure, like so. And I got my water supply. And I do the same thing with sprinkler demand. It's a sprinkler demand line. Then once I have it, I click it and put it to where my demand points are, like so. Now, I also have little fittings and symbols that I use for this particular case. To show the sprinkler demand, I click this little triangle. It drops down, and then I move it and bring it to I want it to land. And the same thing for this open triangle. I use this open triangle to identify density available with hose and without hose. And to do that, I also have a guideline which help me to plot those lines. And to identify the density available with hose and without hose, I put it like so, one side on top of the hose demand, with the water supply intercept the sprinkler demand, and with the hose demand intercept your sprinkler demand. Then I come down and read the flow. This flow over here is 11:15 GPM, and I entered 11:30, and I entered that information here. And for the water supply, I went down, I read 12:15, and I entered that information here. And the computer gave me the density available with hose, 0.38, and 0.41 over here. Now, delete the guideline, and this is my density available on lag 185. I could go back, and now I could click this blue button, plot lag 185 density. I click it, and it changes slightly, 0.38 with hose and 0.41 without hose. The linear one are less conservative, and it shows 0.37 and 0.42. So when I click the plot lag 185 density, even the title change. I have a linear graph density. When I plot lag 185, it shows that I selected, I pulled the density for lag 185 and put them on the linear graph. Now the linear graph is as accurately as a lag 185 graph. And now I go export the data to a loss prevention report. I click copy to export, and then I click next, and now it gives me choice to export the main screen or the lag 185 graph. I'm going to do both. Copy main screen. Now I'm on copy mode. I'm going to open my loss prevention report, which is blank. I need to start filling the loss prevention report, and then I find a location to enter the test data, and I click edit, paste special, click picture, and there it goes. Here's my main screen plotted to a loss prevention report. I could go back to the program and now plot my lag 185. Click copy to export like we did before, click next, click copy lag 185 graph, go back to the report, find a location to put, a suitable location to paste it, click edit, paste special, and click picture, and I'm in. Here's my lag 185 in a loss prevention report. Now I could also do the same in Microsoft Paint. There are many customers that prefer the reports are based on Access database or PDF database, and they want all the attachment to be pasted to those type of reports. So you could paste the data, in this case lag 185. If you size it, it looks something like that, and then you could click save as. You could save it as a bitmap. Some companies prefer bitmap, other companies do not. So decide what you're going to save it at, and then save it, and then attach those the data as pictures to your report. I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to attach the main screen to to Microsoft Paint. Click Next, main screen, and now he's going to select a new one, not saving it, and paste. Now it's a main screen that I could save to as a bitmap to an Access database or as a picture to a PDF type of report format. Let's go back and I'll show you some other features of the program. In copy mode, I'm going to press escape. If you look at the screen, if you want to look at how information is transferred quickly, you just press any of those buttons, and as you press it, information is transferred from the NFPA table to the loss prevention report. And then you could see click figures, you could see rack storage, that basically features that help you select, make a better selection. So if you need to know what a commodity class, click this button here. What are commodities? Tells you what class 1 commodity is, what class 2 commodity is, class 3 commodity is, and class 4. And class 4 could contain plastics, a certain amount of plastics, and even plastic that's granulated or small, free flowing is classified as class 4 commodity. So this button tells you what plastics are. This is the material. This material is from Group A plastics. This material is from Group B plastic. And if you scroll down, you find out that this material is from Group C plastics. So there's some information that help you classify the plastic material so you could better evaluate adequacy protection. And that's it. I've designed all these programs to help you evaluate adequacy protection, control mode sprinklers for palletized storage, control mode sprinkler for rack storage of plastic, control sprinkler for Group A plastics, rubber tires, ESFR for storage up to 45 feet in height, and so forth, including flammable liquids. If you want to evaluate storage of flammable liquids, well, here's a similar program, works the same thing. The windows open automatically, and the first thing it does is give you definition for the plastics. And then you can enter whether you have class 1B, 1C, 2 or 3A, or class 3B liquid. So you select, and then you select whether you have storage or palletized, and then you select whether you protect it with ceiling sprinklers or with water foam spray protection. And then you select your storage on the 5 gallons, storage on the over 5 gallons to under 60 gallons. So basically this is drums. And you can look at drum store. And then you go into water supply information, basically do the same. You could quickly evaluate adequacy protection for any storage or occupancy in a minute or two, and then export the test data. So it could easily be used by fire protection engineers to save time and better evaluate risks and manage risks, and it could be used by the supervisor who's reviewing an engineering report to check for accuracy in the report. That's it. Thank you for being my fire protection program. I will evaluate all the programs and place them on YouTube for your review. Thank you for your time.